guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Morgan and I'm here to share with you my love of all things DIY and home decor. I've got a little helper with me today. He doesn't want to be put down, so he is helping me do my intro today. I am finally redoing my bedroom. It has been a long time coming. I've slowly been buying all of the stuff that I want for our bedroom because honestly, it's not realistic to go out and buy all of the stuff all at once. It's expensive to do that, and I really wanted to find just the right pieces. So let's get started redoing that room.
Okay, so this is what our bedroom looked like a few weeks ago. We have our gray bedspread that we got for our wedding 4 years ago. The walls were a yellowy beige color that definitely pulls a lot more yellow. And if you can see, you can definitely tell where previous tenants had patched holes in the wall. It looks like they match the color of the paint, but not the finish. And in some spots, the paint isn't even the same color. We had a blanket hanging from our windows as a makeshift curtain, and a nightstand that I bought at a garage sale a couple years ago. So our bedroom is actually massive. I really have no idea why you would want this much space, but I've turned the rest of the room into a laundry/crafting area, and unfortunately it's just usually a giant mess. So I'm working on figuring out a solution to make things a bit more tidy, but for now I'm just going to focus on my little bed nook. So my father-in-law got a paint sprayer, and I thought it would be so fun to use that to paint our bedroom instead of using paint rollers. That was a huge, gigantic, enormous, colossal mistake. I cannot express enough to you my hatred of the paint sprayer. If you can paint something outdoors, then the paint sprayer is just fine, and you'll probably love it, but never, just take my word for it, never try to spray your indoor walls. So when you use a paint sprayer, there is a little bit of a back spray, so you have to cover anything in the room that you don't want paint on. So I covered the floor, the baseboards, the windows, the ceiling, our closet door, our dresser and bookshelves, literally everything, and that alone took me 4 hours to do. Basically, if I had used rollers, I would have been done by that time. But I had already spent so much time taping everything off that I was just committed by that point. I thought the actual painting part would go so fast once I started. Wrong again. The paint was coming out in really thin lines and it wasn't very even. It would have taken forever to spray the room like that. I do think that the problem was that my paint was too thick. They do sell paint thinners for paint sprayers specifically, so it probably would have worked a lot better if I had used a paint thinner. But by that point, I had spent so much time on it, I was just done with the paint sprayer. I admitted defeat and I painted the whole room with a roller. So a project that should have only taken a few hours turned into a project that literally took all day. I started at 9 a.m. and finished painting at about 1:30 in the morning. And that is why I have a deep hatred of paint sprayers. So that was my rant. I do actually love our newly painted room. I used the color du jour from the Valspar brand at Lowe's in the eggshell finish. I literally just asked them for their cheapest paint in the color that I wanted. It took about 2.5 gallons of paint to do our bedroom with 2 coats on the walls. I think it was about $28 a gallon.
We're gonna be hanging some curtains. I bought these curtain rods on Amazon. I'll link them below. They are just the most beautiful gold color ever. I don't know about you, but I have a very hard time with buying curtain rods. Most curtain rods I see, I just don't like them. So I found this one and I do like this one. It's very pretty. I think it'll go great with our room. Because it has that texture on it, I'm not sure how well the curtains are going to be able to move back and forth. But you know, I don't think we're going to be moving our curtains at all. I think they're just probably going to stay in the same place. So just keep that in mind if you are wanting to buy one of these. And I know they're small windows, but we're still going to hang full-size curtains and it's going to be just gorgeous.
We installed the drywall anchors off camera, so all I had to do was screw the middle anchor and the 2 ends of the rod onto the wall. A good rule of thumb is to hang your curtains higher than your window. I would recommend hanging your curtains 3 to 4 inches below your ceiling. Doing this will draw the eye up and make your walls look taller. Once those were screwed into place, I hung up my curtains. These are blackout curtains that I got from Target. I'll link them below. I love these curtains. They are the perfect color. They do a great job of keeping out the morning light, and they bring so much warmth into the room. It rained, and this was Brooks' first time playing in the rain. What a cutie. We got a new bedspread, so of course we had to buy new bed sheets. These sheets are just white 100% cotton sheets that I found at HomeGoods.
So this was my first time ever buying a duvet cover, and I know a lot of you probably already know about duvet covers and probably already have them, but for those of you who don't, I just wanted to share a couple of things about duvet covers that you probably don't know or maybe are curious about. So this duvet cover has a hole in the bottom of the blanket about this wide, and you put your actual duvet in here. I did notice that you can kind of see the duvet like peeking out of the hole a little bit. There's not any buttons or ties or anything to hold it in, which we could probably actually DIY something to like hook that in there, like maybe buttons or something, so that the duvet doesn't come out. I might actually have to do that. That would actually be really smart. But the material itself is very thin, like if you can see that. So this duvet cover is 100% cotton. Our sheets are also 100% cotton, and they feel almost exactly the same. So that gives you a good way to judge the texture. It's not incredibly soft, but once you put the duvet in, it's just so fluffy. And I just love a fluffy bed. And I don't really care about it being like super soft as I do it being more fluffy. So I really like it. I think it's comfortable, and the color is just amazing. I'm so in love with this color. It's just the perfect color. I searched so long, guys, hours, days, weeks. I've been searching for a very long time to find something like this in a good price range, and I finally found the one from H&M. I think maybe it was out of stock for a little bit, and I love it. It's so good. Actually a king size duvet and a queen size cover. So I don't know how a queen size would fit, how much smaller it would be, but this one kind of moves around a little bit. So just finding corner with corner. I got this cute soft blanket from Target. It is amazing. I love the color. It's so soft, and it's made really well, so it's not gonna come apart or fray or really snag too much. A lot of the blankets that I saw in Target's fall collection this season were already snagging. Some of it was already coming apart, but this one is really well made and I love it. Okay guys, this giant piece of macrame I did years ago. I did this like 3 or 4 years ago when macrame was just barely starting to be like a big thing again. It took me forever. It took me months and months because if you can see, look at how thin this macrame is, and it's not even real macrame cord, it's yarn. You see, it's like a fabric-y yarn. It has like cotton on the inside of it, but it's super thin, so I had to do so many knots. So because my macrame cord was just so small, I had to do so many of these little knots, And now I know better. I know what kind of cord to get. I know that if I'm going to do a large scale macrame like this, I'm going to use a thicker rope so I don't have to do as many knots. I'll link below the macrame cord that I usually get on Amazon. A lot of the macrame that you can find, you can choose how thick it is. So depending on what kind of project you're doing, if you're doing a large scale project like this, you're gonna want to do the thickest rope you can find because it'll take a lot less time and you'll be so grateful at the end. You'll have a lot more patience and it won't take you literally months to finish this. And using a thicker macrame cord is actually going to make your macrame look better as well because there's just so much more room for error when it's so thin. And also this is a little bit more flimsy. You can see how like the lines kind of wobble and stuff. It's not going to do that as much when you have a thicker cord. And this macrame is really not hard to do at all. The entire piece of macrame is only 2 different kinds of knots. I have previous videos on how to do those knots that I'll link at the end of the video for you. To hang my macrame, I nailed 2 strips of faux leather into the wall. I got the leather strips at a Hobby Lobby a long time ago and they were just sitting there in my stash. I used 2 nails for extra security since we all know Brooks is going to be playing with this. A renter-friendly option is to use large command hooks. I've used those in previous apartments. You can even paint the command hooks to give it a more polished look. Okay, so let's remember what the room looked like before. And here it is now.
No.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this room makeover. I love how our room is turning out. I'm definitely not finished by any means decorating our bedroom, but you know, it's not very realistic to get everything for a room all at once. And I actually have been purchasing all of these pieces that I used over time as well. So I don't want you guys to feel discouraged thinking, you know, my rooms are never gonna look like that. Just buy little pieces at a time and it'll start coming together. It is amazing what a new coat of paint, some new curtains, and a new bedspread will do for you. And then you can just add in those little things later. I have a lot more bedroom DIYs coming up for you. We're planning on building our own nightstands. We're gonna thrift some lamps and do little thrift flips for those. Lots of things for the bedroom. Just kid. If you guys did enjoy this video, I would so appreciate it if you'd hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so that we can DIY with each other. Say please subscribe. Yeah, we appreciate it. Thanks guys.